Hi, welcome to the Daily Line, BetRepublic.com. I'm Jarvis. This is Greg. We are looking at the NBA Finals starting tonight, Greg. It's been a long wait. The Boston Celtics have been getting old waiting for this.
They have been, yeah.
We've got Lakers laying 5.5, and we've seen a little bit of attention going either way on this line, but the side stayed strong. That total, 191.5, easy for me to say, is down from 192.5.
Yeah.
Trickled down to 192. Today we're seeing 191.5. People are looking at defense, Greg. You've got the Lakers earlier for the week as a power rating of 2. You're seeing some value on the dog?
Yeah, power rating 2. If you look at the last 3 games they played, Jarvis, they were all decided by 1 point, a single point, the last 3 times these teams have met, which is, that's very unusual. 9 of the last 10 games have resulted in either a Boston straight-up win or them losing by 6 or less points. This line opened at 6. It's 5.5 now. I think, the line value here definitely favors Boston. The rest favors Boston. The Lakers have Kobe to contend with, Celtics have Kobe that they must contend with, and he's going to get his points. He's the grease that turns the wheel.
No one's been able to stop him yet so far. So.
But, the problem that the Lakers will have, and the way Boston wins this series, is Rondo. He's the key to this series. If the Lakers cannot contain him, then Boston will win this series. There's a lot of history between these two teams. When the Lakers played in Minneapolis back in 1882, I'm kidding, 1959 to 1969, Jarvis, they played 7 series.
Right.
Boston won all 7.
Wow.
7 for 7. Then in the 80s, it was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. They had a rivalry there in the early 80s. There's been some dirty play, some hard play. It is the matchup that when you compare like the Redskins to the Cowboys, or you compare the Red Sox to the Yankees, that type of a matchup. So you look at these, how they got there, and I think that Boston had a tougher road. They had to beat Cleveland on the road. Tough to do.
Not a lot of people saw that one coming.
That's
but
right.
Boston obviously played their defense.
And they had to beat Orlando, which was a defending champion from last year. So they,
And Boston got up big, but Orlando made it interesting.
Orlando did make it interesting. So I lean to Boston to win this series. You look at the Lakers; they were 42-7 this year, straight up at home. And here's where the point spread comes into factor. It's the Laker line. We've talked about the New England Patriots line,
right,
or the Super Bowl line. Boston were really good on the road. The Lakers at home were 21-27 ATS. Boston was 31-18 straight up, and they were 26-22 on the road. So if you look at the Boston on the road this year getting 6 points or lower, and you exclude Denver and Utah, where they had a tough time because they're a little older team, they played very, very well on the road. They beat San Antonio. They went into Orlando. They beat L.A. They know how to win. I look for this game to come down to a nail-biter, and I have official selection on this game, Jarvis. I like the Boston Celtics plus 5.5 points.
Okay, Greg's got an official selection on Boston in Game 1. Series price is Lakers minus 185. It's a far cry from the 345 we saw them laying against Phoenix. Throughout the week at BetRepublic.com, we have been covering this on the Daily Line. I've got a system recap for you here on some of the numbers we've talked about, Greg. You can tell me what you think about these systems. On Tuesday, we talked about play all teams under the total when the number is between 190 and 199.5. When you're an extremely well-rested team, so more than 3 days rest, playing 3 or less games in 10 days. With a winning record on the season, obviously Boston had a winning record. This system was 4 overs, 10 unders this season, including with a 73% rating over the last 5 seasons. Now, this number was 192.5. It's down to 191.5. Do you lean towards the over/under in this situation? Or do you want to talk about it a bit?
I saw Ghost Line. I never saw this in a book, but I saw 194 up there. Okay. So if in fact a book did post a 194, it's down to 191.5. Now that's a drop of 2.5 points, Jarvis. 16 times they've played here. The last 16 times, 10 overs, 6 unders. You got to keep in mind when you have a really tight game, and I project this to be a tight game. You get down to the end in the fourth. What happens? Foul City.
Fouls, right?
The last minute and a half could take, it's like longer than the 2-minute warning in the NFL. It could take a long time to play the last couple minutes. So you could see 14, 16 points in a minute here, a minute and a quarter, a minute and 30 seconds rather. So we're going to come up with something here for you. on the best of the rest, and we've got a really good angle for you.
Okay, and one other first half system you looked at was favoring Boston, but said play against teams in the first half like LA when revenging a loss versus opponent off 2 consecutive wins versus a division rival. This system was 44-16, 73% the past 5 seasons, but you mentioned how strong LA is on home court, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I can't play this. Like I think, and I didn't bet this game for big money. Some of these games earlier in the series I bet from fairly serious weight. I can get that out eventually. This one is kind of a watch and see, but I did make a play on Boston. First half, the Lakers are tough at home in the first half. Boston knows how to play good defense. I think the first half could tell a tale. There's also a great first half over-under series or system in this in the conference final, for all the marbles, and it suggests the under is the way to go. Just an opinion on that too, Jarvis. I didn't play that.
So in the first half, you lean more towards the under than you would towards the side.
I think the under at 96, but I will not play it. The only thing I played tonight was the dog getting 5.5.
Okay, let's get to the best of the rest, Greg.
Brought to you by
Bookmaker.com. We're going to look at the over-under just in case you're still looking at betting it. Greg has some more info.
Yeah, I took you look at the points for and against, okay, and then you can factor in some other factors and come up with a number like 196.5.
Okay. Even
if it opened at 194, they've shaved it down because of the defensive style of Boston.
Of course.
So we're sitting at 191.5. I thought a true number could be 196 to 196.5. So you've got a value there suggesting that they've got a soft number on the over-under here. I project about 197 points in this game. So I have, even though there's a lot of things to support the under, I'm not playing the under, I'm not playing the over, and the reason why is I show the game, I feel it could go under, but computer data and looking at this thing real close and had about 4 days to study this, I lean to the over in this game.
Okay, and we'll look at the trends from sportsbetting.com. It's our slam dunk, Greg. We've got an 83% Lakers trend saying under. The LA Lakers, 3 overs, 15 unders as a home favorite of 6 points or less the last 2 seasons. We brought that up throughout the show as well. Recapping the one play, Greg, you've got one?
One official selection. I like in game number 1, I like the Boston Celtics plus 5.5 points.
Check BetRepublic.com for more info on the game. We've got a winner for tonight. Tip-off goes at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I know we've all been looking forward to it. Let's take a break, Greg. When we come back, we've got Major League Baseball.